Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Rainbow Six Siege video. In this video, we'll be covering the best tips for anyone starting Siege. Maybe you just wanted to try it out after hearing so much about it. Or maybe your buddies forced you to get the game so they could have a full squad. Either way, this video is going to help you from making some mistakes and hopefully die less and win more games. But before we begin, please take a second to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and it ensures you always have some Siege videos to watch. So go ahead and subscribe and click that bell. Now let's begin. Our first tip, and probably one of the most important tips when talking about Siege basics, is knowing how and when to lean and to hold angles. If you first start Siege and you start running around all gung-ho like this is Call of Duty, you're probably going to die a lot. You're going to run around a corner and get hit with that one lethal headshot and probably be pretty pissed off. But holding angles and leaning and learning when to do so can help prevent that. Basically, you want to lean when going around corners and make sure that you can see the enemy, but they can only see a little bit of you. When you're leaning around a corner or holding an angle on defense, you're only exposing your hands and head, very small parts of your body. Now compare that with running around a corner, where the enemy can see your entire body and has this huge, easy target to hit. If done correctly, you'll be able to see the enemy's entire body, or most of it, while exposing only a little bit of yourself. It'll be easy for you to shoot them since their body's exposed, and hard for them to shoot you since most of your body will be in cover. For example, say this painting here on house is an enemy. When I lean over to the right, I can see the entire painting and it's a huge target to hit. If you notice my hands and my weapon, I'm barely exposed. Just my head and hands are peeking around the corner. Now if this is a real game situation, this defender here would have a small target to hit, making me much harder to kill. I'm not going to say this makes it impossible for you to die, because people can predict when and where you'll peek, or they can just get these amazing whip shots on you. It's all depending on, your enemy's skill. But knowing how to lean will help you win more engagements and die less, which is, useful. Our next tip is going to be about drones on attack and cameras on defense. You need to use them. I know it might not be the most interesting thing to do, but everyone needs to know how and when to use them. Drones and cameras can single-handedly change the course of a round. They allow you to spot any enemies it sees. You do this by simply opening up your drone or camera and holding down the spot button. Spotting your enemies not only lets you know where they are, but those pings appear for your entire team to see. Intel is incredibly powerful in a game like Siege, where one bullet can kill and change the course of a round. And if you and your team knows exactly where the enemies are, it makes killing them easier and it helps your team strategize much better. Before you head into any room on attack, you need to drone it out first. This will prevent many cases where you'll run into a room and immediately get shot down. You rushed in because you didn't know anyone was in there, and you paid for it. So before you rush, just drive your drone into the room and check it out. If it's clear, it's probably safe to go in. If there's someone in there, you can spot them and go for the kill. Either way, you should be droning rooms out before you go in and spotting enemies, even if it's just to give your teammates a head up on their location. For defense, the same applies, but you'll be using it more passively. On defense, you should be finding a nice cozy hiding spot before jumping on your cameras. If you check cams out in the open, you leave yourself vulnerable to any attacker nearby or rushing in. So before you check cams, find a safe spot so you don't die. After that, cycle through all the cameras, or at least the ones near your location. If you see anyone, spot them. You don't have to go for a flank or a rush, but if you want to and you think you can get the jump on them, go for it. If you don't want to play that aggressively, if you want to play, more defensively, spot them for your team so your roamers can jump on them or at least know where they are. Also, remember that enemies get alerted when you spot them. I'm sure you've seen it already at the bottom of your screen, some text saying that you've been spotted. Certain enemies may try to hide and wait for the rush, so be careful. If you do go for the aggressive play, still be cautious, because they know you might be coming, and they're going to be waiting for you, or at least they're going to be expecting something to happen. Use their last known location and pick the angle with the proper technique. This will give you the best odds of winning that fight. So, to summarize, use your drone or camera to spot enemies for you and your team, check rooms before you rush in, and be careful when you go in for the kill after you spotted them, because their guard is going to be up and they might be expecting it, so just be careful. Moving on, we have our next tip. Play the objective and watch the clock. I cannot stress this enough. Siege is a team-focused, objective-focused game. Playing the objective and forcing your enemies to play around it are how you win games. I can't tell you how many times all of my team has been killed and the last one alive doesn't have bomb and is halfway across the map. Just be aware of where the bomb sites are, who has bomb, and how many enemies are left alive. Try to play around the objective. Kill the enemies that are on the sites and make way for whoever has bomb. It's not really a deep tip, but it's one I've seen a lot of people struggling with. Just remember to play with your team and the objective and not away from it. Kills aren't everything. Focus on that OBJ. Then you also need to watch the clock. Playing out a good breach and droning / camming out rooms is extremely important and needs to be done. But while you're doing it, remember to check the clock. All the intel and careful planning in the world is useless if you run out of time and fail to play the objective. I'm not saying rush in and get things over with as fast as possible, but if you see you only have a minute and a half left in a round, get your ass in gear and plant that bomb or defend the area or whatever you need to do. If you're in defense, focus on clearing the attackers out and defusing the bomb if they have planted it. Just remember to occasionally, look at the top of the screen and, be like, oh shit, I need to do something, or just be like, okay, I got time, I can still plan things out. Just be aware of it. For our fourth tip, be a good teammate and use the ping system. Like I said earlier, Siege is an extremely team-based game. You need to be making call-outs, spotting enemies, and using the pings to let people know what you're talking about, or what hazards they need to be aware of. Making callouts can be kind of hard when you're new to Siege, since there are so many maps with so many different areas inside of each map. The one main thing that helps with this is the compass. If you notice at the bottom of your screen, you have a compass, then a location next to it. Use this to make your callouts. It can be something as simple as buck in lobby or 2 people in game room. Just let your team know any vital information that could lead to a kill or prevent them from being killed. And the location's right there, so as you're going through a room, just kind of make like a mental note, like, oh, this room is, garage or whatever. Just use that location to help make your callouts better until you've memorized the maps and have all that map knowledge. To make your callouts even better, use your pings. Say you do see someone in game room on house. Ping it. Ping either the room itself or a wall or floor near the room, whichever is safer and doesn't put you in the line of fire or, get you killed. This makes it easier for your team to know what you're talking about and where it is. All your team has to do is look around for a quick second and they can see exactly where that enemy you called out is and which ways they could possibly be rotating. It helps your team and you need to be doing it. In addition to helping your callouts, pinging can also point out other important things. For example, you can use your ping to point out a frost welcome mat or a Capcom trap. You used to have to call these things out and ping them, like frost mat here, and then you press the ping button. But with the introduction of the Ping 2.0 system, this is made much easier. Now, you can just ping the object and the symbol for it will appear. So always ping enemies and any traps you see so your team knows to look out for them and to steer clear of that area or that trap. You also need to be paying attention to your teammates' pings, so you can know what the hell they're talking about and what is going on, but also to help out your teammates. Say you're playing an operator with impact grenades. Your teammate might ping a wall they want you to break to make a rotation hole. Or your teammate might ping a gadget they want you to take out. Or your friendly neighborhood rook will ping his armor plates so you can make sure that you're getting that extra armor. No matter what the situation is, pay attention to your teammates' pings and help out when and where you can. Our fifth and final tip of this video is to know your roles. Each operator in Siege does have something unique to them, but they all do fall into a category of different roles. For attack, you have hard breachers, soft breachers, disablers, and utility. For defense, you have anchors and roamers. Hard breachers are operators capable of breaching through reinforced walls, so Thermite, Hibana, Maverick, and Ace. Soft breachers are operators capable of effectively breaking down soft walls, barricades, and floors to play the verticality of maps. These include operators like Buck, Sledge, Ash, and Zofia. Disablers are operators that specialize in disabling or destroying defenders' gadgets. These operators are Thatcher, Twitch, IQ, and Kali. Then we have utility operators, which is basically just everyone else. Operators like Fuse can use their cluster charge to kill defenders safely, or Finka can use her buff to pick up allies at any distance and to give her allies a health buff. Utility operators have the largest variety, and it's always a good idea to check their ability and see what situations it could be used in or which situations it's most useful in. For defense, you have roamers and anchors. Roamers are operators that will be, roaming around the map. They'll be the ones reinforcing hatches above objectives and roaming the map looking for vulnerable attackers and opportunities to flank. They include operators like Caveira, Melusi, Vigil, Pulse, and many more. Roamers are usually 1 armor and 3 speed operators. These move the fastest and are the quietest, making them great at sneaking up on attackers and getting around the map fast. Anchors are operators that play more defensively and sit in or around the objective area. They're the ones holding down the objective, holding down the forts, as the roamers are running around the map. They're usually 3 armor and 1 speed operators, meaning they're slower and make more noise, but can take more damage than roamers. Anchor operators are operators like Rook, Doc, Tachanka, Maestro, Echo, Mira, and many, many more. Remember, roles are important and you should definitely be playing your role to help your team as much as possible, but you don't have to strictly play operators in their role. For example, you should probably anchor as Echo, hide away in the objective and use your yokai to disorientate enemies for your team. But I play Echo way more aggressively than that. I'll hide near entry points to the building, using the yokai to, hit the enemies, then rush them for some easy kills. Sure, this might not be the most effective use of his gadget, but I have fun with it, so I do it. Just remember to use your gadgets when and where they need to be used, and to help your team out as much as possible with your operator's ability. And if you're ever curious what a particular operator does, what weapons they have, what their ability does, all that good stuff, I've actually made a guide for every single operator in Siege. So if you're interested in a particular operator or knowing how to use them a bit better, go ahead and check out my Rainbow Six playlist, which I'll have in a card right here. And you can just go through that and find all the operator guides and find out the information that you want to know. And that's actually going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all. What did you learn from this video? What other topics or what other questions about Siege do you have? And do you want me to make another tips and tricks video for beginners or maybe one for advanced players? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Rainbow Six Siege content. Also, click that notification bell so you can get updated, when I upload videos and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm the Battle Moon, and I will see you in the next Siege.